Breaking news coming in. Bodies of Indian Jawans have been mutilated by Pakistan Border Action Team. That's the breaking news that's coming in a statement. Army says, and I quote, Pakistan Army carried out unprovoked rocket and mortar firing on 2 forward posts on the line of control in Krishna Ghati sector. Simultaneously, a BAT action was launched on a patrol operating between these 2 posts in an unsoldierly act by the Pakistan Army. The bodies of 2 our soldiers in the patrol were mutilated. Such a despicable act of Pakistan Army will be appropriately responded. Gaurav Sawant is joining us live. Gaurav, that's a cowardly act once again by the Pakistani side. All right, we'll be getting Gaurav Sawant shortly, but this is a cowardly and shocking news that's coming in. Army releasing a statement that Pakistan has carried out this cowardly and unprovoked act. Now, Gaurav Sawant is finally joining us on the phone line. Gaurav, go ahead. A cowardly act. What is the response that we can expect from the Indian Army now?
The Army will be responding to this now. The initial information that has just come in seems to indicate, Shobhat, that 2 of our soldiers who were on a patrol duty this morning, there was unprovoked firing, there was rocket launchers that were used, and in midst of all this, a border action team of the Pakistan Army violated the ceasefire, came on the Indian side and mutilated bodies of 2 of our Jawans. The sources seem to indicate one of them was beheaded, but we are not sure. We have to wait for more confirmation on this. But this is completely unsoldierly, and Army promises there will be a response to this.
Absolutely, Gaurav. There was a similar incident a few months back as well. It created a standoff between the 2 sides, and India promised a strong response the next time any such incident happens. You know, what are the tactics that Indian Army can use now against Pakistan? Will there be, you know, appropriate action, like-for-like action?
Last time when something like this had happened, no, Indian Army does not mutilate or behead Pakistani soldiers. But yes, there is a very strong response in the past. If you recall, there was a surgical strike that was carried out.
Yeah.
There was a surgical strike that was carried out last time, and more such strikes, you know, the Army had promised will be carried out in future. That is exactly what appears to be happening. It is a despicable act. The Army says there will be a response, and that response, from what my sources tell me, will be swift and something that will be a deterrent for the Pakistan Army in future.
Could you just explain, Gaurav, where exactly did this incident take place?
South of Pir Panjal. This incident has taken place in the Krishna Ghati sector. This is about 200 kilometers from Jammu, en route to Poonch, where Pakistan Army soldiers violated ceasefire. There was some mortar firing. There were rocket launchers that were used to target a bunker, and that's the time that Pakistan Army Border Action Team, or you know, a hybrid group of Pakistan Army and terrorists, they walked in and they beheaded a patrol of ours. So which means they must have been monitoring that patrol, and in midst of all of this, they came and launched an attack.
Gaurav, just stay with us. Ashwini Kumar, our bureau chief from Jammu, is also joining us live. Ashwini, what are the details that you can add for our viewers? What is the response that Indian Army is planning at the moment? Our bureau chief is joining us from Jammu. Ashwini, if you can hear me, despicable act by the Pakistani Army. Can you tell us, give us more updates? What are the response that Indian Army is planning? Where exactly did this incident take place? And what's the next step of the Indian Army?
Yeah, Pakistan has done a bad operation on the line of control. They first fired on the Indian post, and some teams have entered there. They have gone for the bad operation on the line of control, and our 2 bodies, the Jawan's body, are totally mutilated. They were very critical when they were removed from the post, and India is planning a big way to counter the Pakistanis, because they have done again bad operation after so many years, and India has to respond. And there was a firing and shelling continuing till the both critically Jawans, they were taken out from the bunker and taken to the safe place, and India is responding in a big way, and Pakistan had done a mischievous, and yesterday also Pakistani Army chief, who has visited the across the border, and he must have given some operational guidelines to the Pakistani army for any action on the Indian border. Yeah.
Absolutely. Ashwini, just stay with us. Gaurav Sawant is live with us. Gaurav, has this cowardly act been carried out by the Pakistani army or the terrorists across the border?
At this point of time, from what sources in the Northern Command are telling India today, this was a border action team. Shobit, a border action team is usually a hybrid group of Pakistan Army, Special Forces commandos and Lashkar-e-Taiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists who operate together. Now, as far as the Pakistan Army is also concerned, it has elements both serving and retired for that deniability that Pakistan Army may seek. But if I may put this in perspective, Shobit, just yesterday, Pakistan Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa had visited his troops in the Hajipir sector, which is not very far from here. There was an intelligence input that, the situation along the LC will intensify, but that intensification was seen more in terms of more infiltration attempts and more shelling along the line of control, especially south of Pir Panjal. But this appears to be a deliberate act, considering this is the third time it's happening, both south of Pir Panjal. So I want to also quickly bring in noted defense analyst Bharat Karnad for more on this. Sir, this is the third such incident. Two happened south of Pir Panjal. One happened last year just before the surgical strikes in the Kupwara sector. What do you make of two more soldiers being mutilated at the LC by the Pakistan Army, Mr. Karnad?
No, I'm really surprised by the Pakistani Army's behavior, because if these are mainline units indulging in these kinds of atrocities, I think you're going to get a very bad reaction from the Indian Army, which really cannot tolerate, being, sort of falling in battle is one thing, but then deliberate, the mutilation, as you say, of the bodies and so on is something else. It's an aggravation. It's an aggravated provocation, really. And the reason I'm not quite sure what the reason is, but I think they do want to get a rise out of India and the Indian Army, so they can portray to the world that the ceasefire line is live, things are happening all the time, and with the Turkish President himself talking about third-party intervention to resolve the Kashmir issue and so on. They want to, I think, capitalize on all these developments to bring the issue to the international
Karnad, India's response doesn't seem to be working. We've carried out a surgical strike. That doesn't seem to have deterred Pakistan. There has been a response to its border action teams in the past. That hasn't deterred Pakistan. Where is India's policy failing or not achieving the desired results, sir?
Look, the point is very simple. I mean, the surgical strike, such as it was, I said at the time that it amounted to nothing very different or novel. The Pakistanis are used to it, they prepare for it, and so as far as even that particular surgical strike was concerned, it did not have the effect that I think many in this government sought to have. And now the problem is the escalatory aspect which the government is very aware of. I think in the past, careful of military hostilities that could, in a sense, become uncontrollable. And so this is where I think it's, how do you go punitive? How do you punish Pakistan without also crossing the line wherein they escalate to full-term conventional military hostilities and so on? This is what the Indian government, for whatever reason, fears. Now, whether or not they should, contain themselves in the manner we have all these years, and experience repeated atrocities of this kind, because unless we react very strongly, what's going to happen is that the Indian Army units out on the front line are going to get demoralized.
This indeed has a demoralizing effect. I want to bring in Tariq Pirzada from Pakistan for more on this. Tariq Pirzada, what kind of a barbaric army does this? This is against all civilized norms of engagement, against all rules of engagement, Tariq Pirzada.
Okay, what is the complaint?
That your army behaves like an army of barbarians, beheading or mutilating soldiers. Unacceptable behavior, sir.
Oh my God, let me address that question and many other questions. First of all, you are aware about the statement that was issued by the Chief of Staff of the Pakistani Armed Forces, Mr. Bajwa, General Bajwa, when he visited the Hajipir sector of the line of control. He made three major points over there, and the first point represented a qualitative change in the defensive posture of Pakistan towards
It is not defensive. In fact, this is unacceptably offensive. There will be, Indian Army says there will be a reaction. We will continue to report on this story very, very closely. But now it's happening a little too often, and perhaps a message needs to be given to Pakistan, a message that Pakistan understands. Tariq Pirzada and Dr. Bharat Karnad, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. A quick break. We'll be back with this story and lots more on the other side of these messages. Keep watching India Today.